Jason with Archangel. Coming to you today. Well, one, I'm on a current contract, but I'm coming to you today on in a more official capacity, someone that does security operations for a living. As you guys know, tomorrow's election day. Everyone's got to go put their numbers in. They got to go vote and do their due diligence as countrymen, blah, 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 blah. All right. Hopefully you guys have been informed of the risk of what's going on tomorrow. If not, I'm going to give you a brief snippet, kind of tell you some basics of what I know. All right? There are planned riots. There's planned protests all across the U.S. For tomorrow. Now, me and a friend of mine were talking, and he showed me a list of cities that there were planned protests in. And, man, it's extensive, to say the least. I tried to go back and get a copy of it, but it has been taken down and removed by the illegitimate tech giant powers that be, claiming that it was to incite violence, even though it was security administrators talking about it. Whatever. What's important is that this list covered almost every major city and location I can think of across the U.S. There was only one or two states that didn't show up on it. Having said that, can I guarantee that there's going to be lunacy and violence and everything else? No, but I think there's a very strong possibility, and in fact probability, that there is going to be. Alright? So, having said that, you guys need to make sure that you've got your P's and Q's well-minded tomorrow if you're going to any of these polling stations. I fully expect Antifa and BLM to be on full asshat patrol, is what it is. That's what those guys do. That's more than likely what they're going to do. They're going to deliberately try and disrupt and prevent Trump voters and stuff from voting because they have gone that crazy. I'm not going to come on here and tell people, hey, you shouldn't go vote, because that is not my thing. And one, I generally try and steer clear of politics unless it's absolutely necessary. But people got to do what people got to do, Not everybody's like me. If you support this political system and stuff that's going on, then you need to go vote, then go vote. But watch your six. Watch your surroundings. Watch out for the threats that are around you. Now, most polling stations, the way they have it set up, you can't bring firearms inside the building. Not a big deal. You need to be watching everything that's going around you before you ever set foot, or actually before you even get out of your car to go into the polling places and vote. You need to be mindful of people's reactions and how they are, that kind of stuff. It's going to be hard to tell. I'll be perfectly honest with you. Because a lot of the protesters and stuff, they're going to be emotional, loud, brutish, yelling, screaming, that kind of stuff. And they're going to be very open about what they have to say. Most of the time, those aren't the ones that you have to watch out for. However, you do need to watch them. Need to mind their body movements. If you see them reaching for something, behind the belt or waistline or whatnot, you need to be ready to react. However, the more dangerous ones are the ones that know they're about to do something. They're usually quiet. They'll have a bit of a nervous twitch to them. They'll blink a lot. They'll look uneasy. They'll look like they're on the edge. Be very mindful of those people. Watch their mannerisms and watch what they're doing. Alright? I don't know exactly what to expect. Personally, I hope that all of this stuff is a farce and that tomorrow everyone will go to the polls, they'll vote, and everything will be very minuscule. It's not what my instincts are telling me. So do me a favor, guys, before you go to the polls, one, pray. Make sure the Lord's leading you and He guides you as to what time and all that kind of stuff as to when you should go. All those things. Two, be situationally aware. I said you might go to a polling station and there's no one out there except for the people inside doing the voting. That is a good thing. That is a clean, safe thing. Go ahead and do what you got to do. Research your polling locations. Find out which ones are going to be in a more safe, more out-of-the-way type area. Any of them that are concentrated in the heart of like a downtown area or a high urban flow or whatnot, you should probably go ahead and expect there's going to be some kind of protester or something out there. Me personally, I would avoid those, and I would have no problems going out of my way to go to the location for me to put my vote in that's least likely to have some kind of protester or those rioter people anywhere near the vicinity. This is just my own personal advice. You know, there's an old saying in ninjutsu, if the enemy knows where you are, don't be there. It's pretty simple. Alright. Having said that, I hope you guys are stocked up. I hope you have essentials, you know, food, water, things like that. Should, just in case, a worst case scenario pop off and something chaotic happen. You know, these things, I hope that you've done your due diligence in planning and trying to make sure your family's squared away and prepared to last a few weeks, maybe a few months at a time, should a worst case scenario happen. I said, other than that, the best advice I can give you, I've already given you. When you go to these places tomorrow, before you go, pray. Second, pull up polling locations that you could potentially go to. Find one that is the least likely to be in a highly controlled, a highly populated area where protests would be prone to show up at. Alright? 3, once you have chosen that location and you are there, before you ever get out of the car, drive around, get a good close look at everything. Make sure everything looks the way it's supposed to. Make sure everything is in place. Alright? Mind your situational awareness. If you get on location and something feels off, before you ever get out of that car, ask the Lord, pray about it, and ask Him to raise a standard of protection and shield not just yourself, but that location. Alright? Ask Him to send the warring angels out on your behalf. And if He gives you a solid no, you don't need to go do this, then be obedient to Him. Alright? Find another spot. Okay? There's no sense in someone getting hurt. Especially not when God gave us all the gifts and abilities we need to be able to sense danger when it's around us. Alright. So that's the best advice that I can give you right now. Unfortunately, to my knowledge, there really hasn't been any contracts or anything that's gone out, at least in our state of Tennessee, to any of us security contractors for these polling locations and whatnot. I think that's a potentially bad move, but I'm not the one that would have the money for the contracts, so is what it is. Alright guys, until next time, stay alert, stay safe, make sure you have your firearm on you. If you gotta leave it in the car, that's fine. Make sure it's secured and locked up tight. But do make sure that you at least have it in your vehicle with you. Make sure you are trained and you know how to use it properly. Alright? Use this. Not flesh. Use this. Use your brain. Alright? Read the situations fluently. Make sure that if you have to react, that it's absolutely necessary. Alright guys, it's Archangel Ministries. I'm out. I hope you guys have a good night.